Come on, Ashley. Now, you don't think that you're aggressive with your situation with Winter? You don't think you're aggressive? Come on, sis. Cut it out. Knock it off. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Marriage DC. This is season 1, episode 3. Listen, Winter, we're at this table over at Monique's house. We go right back to the table at Monique's house at the vegan dinner, honey. And listen, it's a whole lot. Winter's throwing her whole situation out there. And she gets a little bothered that people are questioning it. It has some questionable stuff in there, Winter. Now, to be quite honest, there's some questionable stuff there. You don't know where the man, to decide to marry somebody, you don't know where they live. You don't know this, you don't know nothing. You just flying by the seat of your pants with somebody and then you go marry them. There's a lot there. And Ashley's just the one that just decided to give it to you. She doesn't like you. That's all there's to it. And, me being me, there are times that I know from the door that I don't like a person. I just know I don't like them. And it doesn't matter. They didn't have to do anything. I just know that we are not a good fit. Now, me as an adult, I have to make the correct choice and not mistreating them or pretending like I don't know I don't like them, because it's on me. At that point, if I take into engaging and then I act nasty, then that's really on me. Then I'm wrong. So be the adult. Ashley don't like Winter. I don't know what y'all looking at, but what I'm looking at, Ashley just does not care for Winter. She doesn't want to be her friend. She doesn't really want to be involved with her. She's going to be her storyline. She got an X on her back. But anyway, Winter's talking about, he's 60 and I'm 40. You were okay with that, so why bring it up now? Now that things ain't good. You were okay with him doing that. When Chris was saying about how he was crying about how much he loved her, Winter's like not buying the tears. She's just not buying it. And then that's shortly after that's when Ashley and DJ Quicksilver jumped in there giving, how did you become a relations specialist? And they were questioning her credentials. And that came to be a real big thing. I can't say I agree with that thing. I can't say that I agree with that thing because some of the best hairdressers in the world never comb their hair. If you go to a nail salon, they don't wear their products. They do not wear the product. I've been getting my nails done for years. Off and on, I do drag, and then I just actually have I have nails, just in general. I've been wearing acrylic for years, off and on. Never ever have I seen Asians doing nails with their nails done. When I've gone to African American nail techs, their nails are done. Y'all know I did hair for years. Hairdressers, they don't always do their hair. That was always one of the things that I always, I take great pride in the fact that I never come on camera on my YouTube or anywhere else. I never come on camera not camera ready. I'm always together. My hair's together, my face is together. I'm not coming up looking wrong. I ain't coming with crust sleep in my eye and looking like I just rolled from up underneath the rock. I take great pride in that. When I worked at a salon, I took great pride in that my hair was always done, because that's what I'd always say. Hairdressers with their hair on top of their head or some old wrap up on their head. I always thought it was terrible, but some of the best hairdressers that there are don't comb their hair. Okay, so it's kind of unfair that, she had a hiccup. Are you serious? You think that relationship specialists don't have a hiccup? Love is what it is. Sometimes you get into a situation with a person and you love them to death and then you outgrow them. It happens. Every marriage, You know, you make a choice whether to stay in it or not to stay in it when people leave when it gets too toxic. But there's, you know, how many married couples you know that can't stand each other? How many married couples you know that got separate bedrooms? Stuff like that. They've invited other people into the mix because they just ain't attracted to. They've literally outgrown each other. So now they got other partners and they got passes and, you know, come on. I mean, marriage looks different in every house. It looks different in every house, and sometimes it's just over. Sometimes it don't last forever. Sometimes it's over and they won't let it be over. They sit around and make each other miserable. So that's kind of unfair. But listen, I don't like you, so we're going to dig on that too. And yes, DJ, Silva, and Ashley were pressing her. They were pressing her. And the group wasn't buying what she was selling, you know, as a whole. So it was what it was. Then when they had the little conversation about celebrity crushes, and I said, girl, y'all throw shade at each other. When Ashley shady child, she said Quicksilver's DJ crush was Rihanna, and she don't worry about that because she wouldn't give him the time of day. I said, ooh. And then she said, you know, I can talk to whoever I want. And Winter, you took a dig, Winter. Like, I mean, let's just call a thing a thing. You took a dig. She had dug at you, so it was fair. So, because of him, that was a face crack, honey. She cracked Ashley's face. And Ashley's like, no, that's not what I was saying. She's like, I'm a bad bitch. I mean, I can go in anybody's DMs because we all have access to stars at this point. You know, you could go in their DMs and stuff. And that's what she was talking about. But Winter knew that. Winter knew that, but Winter was taking a dig. She took her opportunity to dig back at you. It was a little friendly, non-friendly banter. That's all it was. All's fair in love and war and vegan dinner. Anyway, let's get out of there. Moving on. And then I don't understand this whole thing with Chris and Monique. I understand their family going to Africa and all of that. But in the realm of what we're doing, why didn't they just make this like a trip like they do with everything else? Where it's like a trip. Because now you're trying to chronicle their trip to Africa in the midst of doing what we're doing on the show. And quite honestly, it's not interesting. It really isn't interesting. If Monique was doing her own show and it was about her and her family, I could get with the Africa trip. But the Africa trip seems like a commercial break. It reads like a commercial break. Because we're like into this whole drama that's going on in D.C. and boom, here's the scene from Africa. And I'm like, it threw me off. It threw my mood off. You know, I always have respect for Africa naturally, but it just threw my mood off. I'm sitting there like, ooh. And then it's given, oh, come on, Africa. It don't go together. It feels like a commercial break. Anyway, so that's that whole thing. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why they didn't do like a whole trip and let everybody go to Africa. That would have been interesting, I think. They always got to argue right before they left. Honey. You know, they're going to Africa, but it's like this. You told me to hush. Well, I could have told you to. I didn't tell you to shut up. I didn't say, you know. And then when she told him, stop talking Alabama. I talk New Jersey. Stop talking Alabama. That is so rude. That is so rude, Monique. I don't know why you think that ain't rude. To tell your husband basically that he's country, that's rude. That's rude. And it reads as like he's beneath you or he's lesser than. I don't know why people do that. That's rude. Stop talking Alabama. How's he supposed to stop talking Alabama? Ain't he from Alabama? Should he be embarrassed about being from Alabama? Or anything about Alabama at that rate? See, that's some of the problems that y'all having. Y'all got some problems. Y'all got some problems, but they small. Those little things, they all add up. Y'all ain't got no respect for one another. Y'all don't know how to respect each other, honey. And that's where y'all problem come in. Y'all don't respect each other. Y'all just say any old goddamn thing to each other. And it ain't never changed. When we first met you on that other show, He let his mother talk to you any old kind of way. Y'all ain't never been right. Y'all have always had respect issues as long as we've known you. Anyway, but y'all go on and enjoy yourself down there to the Africa. Moving on. When Winter called right before they left and told her, girl, enjoy your husband. Then he got all bent out of shape because, again, now he knows Winter, you and Winter been talking about him. And again, Monique has this really nice way of always making Chris the bad guy. She does do that. She plays victim. You know, Monique plays victim real well. And she does. She always makes Chris the bad guy. And Chris ain't the type of guy to just swallow it. He petty. So it don't... Ooh, them two, honey. Enjoy yourself down to the Africa. Moving on. We see Jamie and Arena. They having themselves a little conversation. And now he's blasting her. He didn't like the conversation at the dinner because she was opening up old wounds in front of company. He's like, and that's the thing, because you're not really supposed to do that. If you've forgiven and you've moved on, you're not supposed to revisit it, and you definitely don't revisit it in front of company. Like that's a little, that ain't good. She did explain in that scene how she didn't grow up with her dad. You know, he was incarcerated for most of her life and stuff, and that's why she pushes so hard for a relationship between him and little Jamie. So I kind of understand her a little bit, but you got to back off a little bit, Arena, and let them fix it. Let them fix it. Moving on, because it's like you're trying to mother both of them. You're not. You're little Jamie's mother. You're not big Jamie's mother. But that's how it comes across, like you're trying to mother him. And yeah, and that's going to do nothing but get you some pushback, girlfriend. Moving on, Winter and her mother. Did y'all clock that, honey? Winter's mother, she had clocked Kevin's inconsistencies first. And Winter was, I guess she was going down in a blaze of glory, but her mother had done already clocked old Mr. Kevin and his shady behind stuff. Winter talks about being served by the sheriff for funds, the inappropriate funds situation, and how the kids got to see all that. I said, yeah, that's ugly. That's very, very ugly. I don't know. There's a lot going on with that Winter thing. It's like, girl, you need not get upset with anybody. You're putting it out here, you're exposing it, and it's raggedy as a bowl of yakame. So you don't really have a leg to stand on with really having an attitude with people. Now, Ashley just don't like you, sis. That's all that's about. So Ashley's a little bit much. She takes it a little far because she don't like you. But everybody else questioning you, you should be questioned because you're talking crazy. You keep telling them stories with holes in it and expecting them to see it the way you see it. Girl, you're crazy. Moving on. Irena and Ashley get together. And she goes to her underarm Botox appointment. So we got to actually see her get it done. And they talk more about it. It lasts 6 months. 6 months, and you got to go back and get shot up underneath your arm. Baby, I was like, all them shots underneath the arm. I said, that is so tender in there. Like, oh no. She sit there and took it like a champ, though. I was like, okay, girl. Yeah. And they had a little chit chat. They weren't buying the Winter story either. Nobody's buying the Winter story. They're just not. And when she told us, just admit you got, which is the truth. Which is the truth. But Irena told her, you were attacking her. You really were attacking her. And she didn't like it. She didn't care for it too much. And that's where Ashley kind of came out and really did admit, like, I don't want no new friends. I don't want her as a friend. And she said, there's something about her that just reads as phony to me. Okay, well, and then in that, I had to flip-flop around because I was like, you listen, that's fair. If that's what you see from her, that's fair. If I see phony, why I got to walk up on it because you walking up on it, that's on you. That ain't on me. So I get it. But now, what I said before, when I know I don't like a person, if I decide to engage and then I act like you acted, Ashley, and being shady, then it's actually on me. So that part of it you're still wrong on. But I see you. And I definitely see why you don't want to be friends with her, and you shouldn't, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think you should. The hell with it. Moving on. Jamie met up with Quick and their boys. They brought their boys out, and they were talking, and we ran into this whole thing about Justin wanting to be a DJ. And there's a question about that. Does Justin want to be a DJ, or does Jamie want Justin to be a DJ? It just didn't read like Justin really wanted to be a DJ. But we will watch, see that, Quick has some things set up where he actually does work with some young people and, teaching them what it is that he does. But I don't think that that's what Justin wants to do. I really don't. I don't think that's what Justin wants to do. Anyway. It'd definitely be a moneymaker. The fact that he's vision impaired, and that would be a whole niche for him. That's a whole gimmick that would definitely get him paid. Is that he is a visually impaired DJ, which he could definitely do it. He could, people who are blind or just have some impaired vision, they can do everything that everybody else can do, baby. But again, it is a gimmick, and it can bring money to the pocket. People love success stories. People love to see people do things that they can't do. I'm amazed at anytime I see a person that is visually impaired and they do Braille, they read Braille. I'm amazed, because again, it's a skill set that I can't do. Can't do it. Hell, and that goes across the board. I have respect for things I can't do, like waiting tables at a restaurant. For some people, that ain't no big deal. Child, I sit in awe of people who are good waiters and waitresses. It burns me when people look down on them. That is a skill set that I do not possess. I could do a lot of things. God bless me with quite a few talents, and I thank him every day for them. But there's some simple things I cannot do. I could never be a waiter. I just couldn't do it. That skill set I'm not made for it. So I sit in awe of them, and I tip very well when I go out, because you're doing something that I cannot. So that's just me across the board anyway. And I'm here for customer service. I'm a customer service person to my heart, so that's another form of customer service. And again, my skill set of customer service don't cover that. So, listen, again, I said what I said. Now let's move on. So Quick was talking, he talked to Jamie, and Jamie was just like starstruck about being with Quick, because he's a star. And he's like, why I feel like I'm being set up? Because you were, baby. You were. Your dad set you up. But he's talking to him, and Quick told him about how he got shot when he was 13, and he was paralyzed for 9 months. And, he made it over, baby, and he didn't look back. And he's like, you don't have to choose that life. You just don't have to. And I think Jamie knows that. Come on, Jamie. You grew up what seems to be a little privilege. You knew you ain't had to choose that life. You choose it because you want to. Yeah. So hopefully he got through to him, but I think little Jamie just liked what he's doing. So, it just is what it is. Moving on. We have another sit down. Arena, Tasha, Winter, and Ashley. And it was kind of like they sprung this on Ashley. Honey, Ashley was throwing shade, and she was very much being aggressive. And she just basically let Winter know, listen, I ain't rushing into no friendship with you. Who knows, girl? Who knows where we'll go? I'll tolerate you, girl, and I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I'm not, girl, I ain't gung-ho about you. You don't blow my hair back, and I ain't apologizing. I was like, I didn't disagree with what she said, but when she turned around and said, I don't think I'm being aggressive. Yes, you are. You are being aggressive because you were rude with what you said. You said it, and you were rude. But, girl, that's it. Stand in it. Ain't no big deal. She said what she meant, and she meant what she said. Now, Winter, you need to leave her alone. Stop trying to find something that's not there. A friendship between you two, baby, it's not there. Go sit down. Go have a seat. Period. You a grown woman. Grown woman. Sit down. How old are you, 10? Trying to make people be your friend? Do whatever you want. Anyway, that's it for DC for now. I'll talk to y'all in the next episode. Later.